Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Mrs. Ina and all of our financial institution and market lecture for guiding and supporting us throughout this course. In this session, my team and I would like to present a case study from the course Financial Institution and Markets. There are four case studies that we will explain today, but before we begin, let me introduce the member of our group. There are me, Nuzulia Rahmayanti, and then Zaki Ahmad Dahlan, Fakih Abian Arkan, and Rifa Kariman Nurhayati. Okay, let's move on to the first case study. Based on this question, we can know that the initial investment is $4 million and the annual cash flow is 6,750 for 16 years. The discount rate is 11%. Therefore, we need to calculate the NPV, the PI, and the internal rate of return to determine the project is feasible to continue or not. First, net present value. Net NPV calculate the present value of expected future cash inflow discounted at a specific rate. In this case, we use 11%. It shows the absolute value to the project to the company. This is the formula. The formula a little bit different from the formula I have studied before. If the formula I studied before was like this, minus CFO plus 1 plus CF1 divided by 1 plus K to the power of 1 like this plus CF2 1 plus K to the power of 2 like this, and etc. up to n, up to the year. Because of the CFO, because the CFO is same, the number of CF is cash flow is 7,500. So I use the sigma. I use this sigma. So we can calculate it like NPV equals minus 4 millions plus 6,750 multiplied by 1 minus 1011 to the power of minus 16 divided by 0.11, and then the result is this is the NPV. This is the NPV like this. So we can conclude, if because of the NPV is positive, yeah, this is positive, which is a result from the cash inflow of 6,750 before the cash flow before over 16 periods at an 11% discount rate, the project is considered financially viable and will be continued. Second, profitability index or PI. PI measures the relative profitability of a project by comparing the present value of future cash inflow to the initial investment. This is the formula. Because of I used the sigma formula before, so I use this formula, which is the CF is annual cash flow, and the K is discount rate, 11%, and the N also year, and then the CFO is the initial investment, or $4 million. So let's calculate this from okay, we calculate it step by step. From this we calculate this to this. First we calculate this, 1 plus K to the power of minus year. So the result like this, the result is 0.1883, and then 0.1883 minus 1, minus this, minus 1, this is the second step, minus 1. So the result is 0.8117, this, and then we divide it by the discount rate. We divide it by the discount rate by this nih. Okay, this is the result. And then after that we put the CF. This is the CF. This is the result, and then the PI is this divided by this, so this is the result. So the PI for this project is up to 1, higher than 1. That is 1.2452. Profitability. So we can conclude if the profitability index greater than 1 indicates that the project is financially viable. Like Nova and Messier Studios should process with the expansion project. So the project is expansion. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the last, internal rate of return. Internal rate of return, it's like trial and error approach. Yeah. In our previous analysis, we found if our NPV is positive, yeah. This is our NPV. This is our positive NPV at the companies with 11% discount rate. So this confirm if based on the company's cost of capital, the investment is financially viable, and expected to generate more value than it costs. So since the NPV at 11% is still positive, this is positive, still positive, the NPV is still positive, it means the IRR must be higher than 11%. We can note it if the NPV at 11 is still positive, the IRR must be higher than 11%. Must be higher than 11%. So this method is testing, it's called trial and error approach, and it's an important step when calculating error manually. So because of more higher than 11%, I use 3 this percent, 13, 15, and 16. This is the calculation. Okay, this is called the calculation. I use the sigma formula as before, yeah. I used the sigma formula as before, so the result is still positive. The result is still positive in 260, and then when I calculate it at NPV 15%, the result is still positive. And then when I calculate it at NPV 16%, the result is negative. So we can conclude we have to use this. We have no. Sorry. No. We have to use this, cause we have to use this. We have to use this, the 15%. Why? Cause this is the nearest from 1. And when I calculate at 16%, it's negative. So we use this. 2 of this. We use this, yeah. Next. Okay, next. However, to take the process efficient, we use the following formula for linear interpolation. This is the formula for linear interpolation. This is the formula of IRR. Okay, so we put at this. We put like the Q1 like 15, Q1 is 15, and the NPV is 19.108.54, like we put at this. So the result of IRR is 15.10%. This is, so we can conclude if the IRR for this project is 15.10%, which is significantly above the company's required rate of return. This means the project is expected to generate returns higher than the cost of capital, making it a financially attractive investment for the Nova Animation Studios. Okay, the last. This is the decision table. Based on all 3 financial metrics, there are NPV, PI, and IRR that we calculated it before. Fortunately, the project is accepted step by step. The NPV is positive, the PI is more than, this is positive, this is more than positive and more than first cash flow before, this is more than one, and this is the IRR, 15.10%. So the positive NPV, favorable IRR, and PI greater than 1 all support this decision to proceed. Moreover, Nova Animation Studios is positioned to capitalize on industry growth, and this expansion strengthened its long-term global competitiveness.
Hello everyone, my name is Zaki Ahmad Dahlan. So I am on to introduction about case study 2, Velocity X Motors, a leading manufacturer of high-performance skateboards in Australia, is considering expanding its product line to include gas-powered skateboard. This strategic move is motivated by the increasing demand for alternative transportation solutions. The company anticipates that this expansion will attract new customers and boost sales. To assess the viability of this project, a thorough financial analysis has been conducted focused on key aspects such as the initial investment requirement, project annual net cash flow, terminal cash flow at the project end, and net present value NPV analysis. Next is initial investment requirement. To launch gas-powered skateboard product line, the company must invest in production equipment and working capital. So this is the formula used. The calculation is product equipment $450,000, net working capital $50,000. Total initial investment is $450,000 plus $50,000, $500,000. So to launch this project, the company required a total initial investment of $500,000. This amount includes $450,000 for production equipment and $50,000 for net working capital. Annual net cash flow estimation years 1 to 9. Calculation: the revenue is 2,000 units multiplied by $2,000 for $100,000. So variable cost 2,000 units multiplied by $40, $80,000. And next is the expression formula. So we have a number in this 450,000 divided by 10 years, $45,000, and EBIT earning before interest and tax is 400,000 minus 80,000 minus 160,000 minus 45,000. So this is $115,000. So next is tax calculation. So this is $39,100 and annual net cash flow is $75,900. And then the expect annual net cash flow from year 1 to year 9 is $120,900. This is derived from a net income of $75,900 plus the expression of $45,000. And next is terminal cash flow in year 10. Calculation is maybe annual net cash flow requirement of working capital. This is the formula. Annual net cash flow is $120,900. Recovery of working capital is $50,000. Salvage value $0, fully dispersed. Total terminal cash flow is $120,900 plus $50,000, $170,900. So in year 10, the total cash flow will be $170,900, which includes the annual cash flow and full recovery of the initial work capital. The equipment has no residual value. Next is net present value NPV analysis. This is NPV formula. Discount rate is 10%. Annual cash flow years 1 to 9, $120,900. Terminal cash flow year 10, $170,900. So this is step 1, present value of cash flow for year 1 to 10. Step 2, present value terminal cash flow year 10. And step 3, total present value of cash inflow. Step 4, net present value calculation. The net present value NPV of this project is $262,287. Because the NPV is positive, the project is financially feasible and is recommended for investment. So in the last, This is the conclusion and the recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Rifa Karima Nurhayati. So here I will explain the case study number 3. And this is the case study, expansion decision at Quantum Tech Solution. And the text is that we look for: first, break-even analysis, calculate the accounting break-even number of memory cards the company needs to sell each year. And second, strategic recommendation. Based on the break-even analysis, should Quantum Tech Solution process with the expansion? And what potential risks or challenges should the company consider before making the final decision? From the previous case study, we can produce data. Initial investment 800 million, operational life 5 years, depreciation method straight line, selling price per unit 50/100, variable production cost per unit 10/100, and fixed annual cost is 180 million. And for the answer, first, break-even analysis. Calculate the accounting break-even number of memory cards the company needs to sell each year. Fixed cost, fixed salaries is 180 million. Depreciation 800 million divided by 5, and the result is 160 million per year. Total 180 million plus 160 million. The result is 340 million per year. Price or unit 50/100, and variable cost is 10/100. Then enter it into the formula. The result of the BEP count is 68,000 per year, and total revenue is 1.20 billion. Total cost, fixed cost, is 340 million. Variable cost is 680 million, and total 1.20 billion. Net operating income, revenue cost is 0, break-even achieved. Quantum Tech Solution must sell 68,000 memory cards annually to cover all fixed and variable costs. Strategic recommendation. First question. Based on the break-even analysis, should Quantum Tech Solution process with the expansion? The break-even analysis indicates that the company needs to sell a minimum 6,800 units annually to cover both fixed and variable costs. Whether the expansion is viable will depend on factors such as market demand, pricing strategy, and competitive landscape. And second question, what potential risks or challenge should the company consider before making the final decision? Quantum Tech Solution should carefully evaluate the associated risks, particularly the unpredictability of market demand. While the demand for data storage solution is on the rise, the actual interest in their new memory card product remains uncertain. If sales fall short of expectation, the company may face difficulties reaching the 6,800 unit break-even point. Inaccurate forecasts could result in overproduction and financial pressure.
Hello everyone, I'll be presenting my financial analysis of two financing alternatives for Nexatech Solution acquisition of high precision equipment. As a financial analyst, I was tasked with determining which option would be more cost-effective, taking a loan to purchase the equipment or entering into a lease agreement. Before it, Nexatech Solution is a leading semiconductor manufacturer in South Korea, planning to acquire new high-precision equipment to boost microprocessor production. Management is evaluating two financing options. The first is a 6-year loan of 250 million won at 9% interest, and second is a 6-year lease agreement with annual payment of 52 million won. My analysis focused on determining which option offers the lowest total cost while considering tax implication, depreciation benefit, and residual value. I approached this analysis by calculating the after-tax cost for both financing options, determining the present value of all cash flows, accounting for depreciation tax benefit in the loan option, incorporating the equipment's residual value in the loan scenario, and last, comparing total net cash outflow between options. For number one is loan option. For the loan option, I first calculate the annual payment using the PMT formula, resulting in 55,729,946 won per year. I then create a comprehensive amortization schedule that tracks principal and interest portion of each payment, tax saving for interest deduction at 35%, and net after-tax payment for each year. The total payment after tax among 304,846,791. However, I also factor in two significant benefits. The first is depreciation tax shield worth 77 million won over 6 years, and second is equipment residual value of 30 million won at the end of year 6. Taking this into account, the net cash outflow for the loan option is 197,846,790 won. Number 2 is lease option. For the lease option, the analysis was more straightforward. Annual lease payment is 52 million won. Tax shield 35% of payment is 18 million 200,000 won. Net annual after tax payment is 33,800,000 won. Over the 6 period, this result in a total net cash outflow of 202,800,000 won. Unlike the loan option, the company won't own the equipment at the end of the term, so there's no residual value benefit. Number 3, recommendation. When comparing the two options, loan option net cash outflow is 197,846,791, and lease option net cash outflow is 202,800,000 The difference, around 4,953,210 in favor of the loan option. Based on purely financial consideration, the loan option is more advantageous by approximately 5 million won. Additionally, the loan option provides asset ownership at the end of the term, and potential for continued use beyond the 6-year period. In my analysis, I also identified several risks that management should consider. The first, technology obsolescence risk is higher with ownership, as the company bears the full risk of equipment becoming outdated. Second, maintenance costs might be higher with ownership. The third, the lease option offer greater flexibility for equipment upgrades. The last, the small financial difference, about 5 million won, means non-financial factor could easily tip the balance. In conclusion, my recommendation is that Nextech solution process with the loan option, as it provides the lowest overall cost and allow ownership of the asset. However, management should be careful with the technological obsolescence risk, especially given the rapidly evolving semiconductor industry, and consider whether the modest financial savings justify the reduced flexibility compared to leasing. Thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
That's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.